Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to some more mid-handicap testing. We have got the hands on the MIZUNO ST driver. This is the Z version for Dave to try. We saw it in previous weeks, or last week, we tested out the X version, so not the X Platinum but the X slightly draw bias driver. Dave didn't do bad, so averages were pretty good. You saw the average on there, he got around about 223 yards as his average total. Dispersion was very much consistently left, so he hit 0 right of target. There was all left, 1 relatively close to the centre line. This week we're trying the lower spinning driver, so obviously with this driver it's got a lower profile. This bias is just for a straight shot, it's not draw bias, so it's probably, again, people would instantly think it's not for the high handicapper, but we'll see, because Dave struggled with that bias because his shot is left. So instantly, Dave, we've just compared the two drivers and we'll get a picture of that and show the profile is a little bit lower. So that's to get lower spin, so that's what a lot of people using this driver like to see, a lower spin. It's more workability, so you can shape it a little bit easier because it's less draw bias. One very interesting fact is that most tour players, and this is for everybody guys, most tour players are preferring the X version to the Z. So they're preferring the look of that, they're preferring that the face is a little bit higher. So very interesting. Depending on your tee height guys, if you're somebody who tees the ball very low, then this might be a driver for you. If you're somebody who tees it high, you might not like the look of it because the ball might sit a little bit too much above the crown and it starts to put a little bit of fear into you. And what we want on the tee box is confidence. So we have been inside, we have got the numbers with this driver, so we do know that, but we're going to get Dave here to try and play two different shots. So we're going to test the workability and Dave's skill. There we go. We're going to try and get Dave to play the first one with his normal shot, which is a little bit of a draw, so he's going to play a totally normal swing. And then we know sometimes when he plays at Garforth, there's a few holes on his golf course where you need to play a little bit of a fade, and he always tries. Whether it comes off every time is not the case.
Correct.
But we are going to try and get Dave to hit the second ball with a fade. Then we're going to talk numbers guys, and then we're going to show you the differences obviously compared to yesterday's driver. Is it close? Is it not? And regards to saving money, £80 with this driver potentially and £100 with the Shrixon, are they two drivers you would think? Dave has liked these drivers. Would it be the one that's going in the bag? That's what we want Dave to answer after these shots.
You're not asking much here, Chris. Straight for the conifers.
Straight to the conifers. So right edge of the conifers is Dave's normal line on here. So will this draw back as normal? Again, less draw bias, would that keep it straight? And this is where you need to think about guys when you're picking a driver, depending on your shot bias, what kind of shot you do hit. We don't want to be trying to manipulate things. That's a great drive. So nice little draw off the right hand side of those, so did exactly what Dave would expect. So his normal shot, it's not overdrawn, which is a good thing, because with the draw bias driver we saw that happen, Dave.
We did.
So Dave, now we want the magic. This is where what everybody's come to watch. They want to see Dave Harrison, mid-handicap Dave, hit a fade. Can he do it? Again, a 12 handicap golfer, Dave does like to sometimes play these shots, so is there workability?
I used to be able to at will.
And if Dave can do this shot, what's the difference in distance? Is there a big difference down there when we go and check? That's faded a little bit,
A little
Dave.
bit.
So a little bit lower, but I think that would have gone a very similar distance as well.
We'll see.
Happy with that, Dave?
Yeah, I was actually, because I was a bit worried I wouldn't be able to...
Yeah, so lower spinning, instantly Dave thinks he might not be able to hit it. Looks wise, we know you like the looks of this over the
I think it's a lovely looking driver.
Sound?
It's good, it's nice sound.
Yeah, it's not a loud sound.
It's not loud at all.
And off-centered hits, how does it feel? Does it still feel solid?
Yes, definitely.
And again guys, in this driver, even though it is the lowest spinning driver, the weight is still distributed through the face, so we've got variable thicknesses to encourage better ball speeds from off-centered hits. So it's got all the same things there, but with a lower profile it's trying to generate that lower spin. The actual centre of gravity is closer to the face to again get that flight down. So if you're somebody who flights the ball too high to start with, this might be a driver for you. As we know, Dave's ball flight is very low. Yeah, he hits
shallow, Chris.
Well, it's a little bit low, so this kind of driver, you'll see with both of those, if we had the peak heights on there, I don't think we would have broke 10 feet. Gone good distances, but if we've got to carry things, if we've got to get over stuff, I don't think this driver is going to be for Dave. But if you are somebody who hits up on the ball, if you are somebody who gives it too much loft, this could get your ball launching that a little bit lower with a better spin number, and we might see you sneak out a little bit more distance. So guys, on screen now you will see the averages there, so we can see that it is a little bit down, not much in it, so 221 yards average here, so 2 yards down from the more forgiving X driver. So would that be something that you would look at? It's only 2 yards difference, but if you are having lessons and you are trying to work on changing your angle of attack, trying to change your launch, this might be a driver you might fit into. So you can see with dispersion, guys, we've got 2 to the right, 2 to the left, and 1 pretty much on the center line. But for me, the main thing is the front to back dispersion. You can see it's not as consistent. So we've got some a little bit further, and as Dave hits shots, I'll put a couple of those numbers on the screen. We can see he got some further, some a little bit shorter. So it'd be very hard for Dave on certain holes to know how much that is going to carry. And we don't see that we're going to get enough spin and enough launch on there for Dave to benefit from this driver. So that's one thing, guys, with those numbers on the screen that you need to look at. But very interesting, it's only 2 yards behind. But when you're thinking about a driver, guys, think about, are you having lessons? Are you thinking about changing? We know Dave's worked on his game through the winter. We're now at the point where we're trying to get a driver to fit. We're not going to change anything else as the season is upon us very soon. So we don't want to be changing too many things. We now want a driver that's going to last him for this, well, last him for the season, or many a seasons.
Hopefully.
That's going to be in there and be able to benefit him straight away. We don't want something that Dave's trying to manipulate and try and get to work for him, going away from what he's been working on throughout the winter. So when you go for a fitting, guys, think about if you are having lessons, please do say that to the fitter. Say, I'm having lessons, I'm trying to work on X, Y, and Z. That will help with the decision of your driver. He's going to build it to where you're trying to get to instead of building it to what you've got now. Because if you're going to make a massive change, your driver might be totally wrong for you. And if you buy a Mizuno and you save your £80, you might then need to buy another driver in 6 months' time. So the £80 you've saved is not really a saving.
Correct.
So guys, think about that when you're going for fitting. So far, Dave, we still think the Paradigm's the best?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I do.
Paradigm numbers.
Although the other Mizuno is reasonably close to it.
Yeah, reasonably close. The only thing with the numbers wise, and even with this, is the dispersion. So dispersion was a little bit better. That distance was a little bit closer. So we need just a driver in between these two Mizunos, which could be the Platinum version. So we know there is the Platinum X version out, which is for slower swing speeds. If that is aimed at Dave, we can have a look at that and see if that might bring a bit of a combination of dispersion and distance and maybe get closer to the Paradigm. So like we said, guys, go to a fitting, be open-minded, think about all these drivers. If they have the full range, if they have Strixon, if they have Mizuno, they are certainly drivers for you to test. We can see Dave's numbers are being consistent throughout this last 2 weeks. They are drivers that Dave might have gone to, whereas as we know, because we've tested that many, the Paradigm's leading, but we're going to be looking at more drivers to come. Please comment below what irons you want to see. We had a lot of suggestions last week. We want to know what kind of fairway woods. You want to see hybrids, you want to see irons, you want to see utilities, you want to see driving irons, do you want to see wedges? What do you want to see Dave use? Because Dave loves trying golf clubs.
I do. It's one of my favourite things.
Doesn't like buying them, he likes trying them. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully we'll be continuing this series. We're going to be back out on the course with Dave, with his new clubs in there, with different drivers. See what we can do for Dave's scores, and we'll see you again next week.
See you soon.